Sports today are not just played on the field. They're played every day, online, all over the world, by sports fans just like you.
Don't you dare breathe. That won't get you anywhere. If you don't think you're a winner, you don't belong here.
Fantasy Sports puts you in control of your own team. The Nick Monsanto Show is proud to present the Star Fantasy League Show. Find out who to sit, who to start, how to play, and have your daily fantasy sports questions answered with your host, Jonathan Sprung, co-hosted by SFL CEO Zach Stanley and SFL COO Seth Young. The Star Fantasy League Show, on the air.
Make this game your finest hour.
Now.
Hello and welcome to the Star Fantasy League Show here on the Sports Byline USA Network. I am your host, Jonathan Sprung, joined as always by the one, the only, the Deucey Moose himself, SFL CEO, Zach Stanley.
Thank you for that lovely intro, Jonald. I feel like Groundhog Day right now because Seth is here again.
Where's my intro like that? Why don't I get a good intro?
The one, the only, the useless, the awful, the Seth Young.
I introduced you. I told you it was like Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
What do you call me, groundhog?
No.
What am I, an animal now?
Do you not understand?
Do I look like I'm coming out of the ground? Do I
You're
predict
more like
the winter?
you're more like a large seal.
I prefer a large tuna.
Big Seth, the Big Tuna Young.
That's right.
Are you okay with that? You want me to call you the Big Tuna?
Yeah, you can call me the big tuna.
We have so many jokes to name you by. I just don't know which one to use.
Well, I'm definitely not a groundhog.
Oh,
Bill Parcells is such a hard ass. I think he would hate your soft Long Island ways.
What does that have to do with anything?
Because that's his nickname.
Yeah, his name
Big
is
Tuna?
the Big Tuna.
Well,
and the fact that you don't know that is also very disappointing.
why would I know that?
Why
would I
wouldn't
know
you?
that Bill Parcells is called the Big
Do you
Tuna?
even
He
know?
coached your
Do you know
team.
who Bill Parcells is?
Do you know what Bill Belichick's nickname is?
The sweatshirt?
I have no idea.
I don't think
Does he even have one?
Hobo hoodie?
The smiling Belichick?
Wow, that was really awful.
Bella Chicken.
This whole intro has gone on a completely awful tangent. Today on the show, we have kind of a sort of random tangent. We're doing NBA, so obviously it's back. We're doing a lineup breakdown, the first segment of the day. Jonald's mailbag, since it's the best part of the show, is obviously returning. And we're going to break it down at the end with NBA Wednesday on StarFantasyLeagues.com. Come on, we got an 11-game slate to look forward to.
It's going to be a great week of NBA.
And Seth's learning, guy. I can't believe it. You're actually putting your research in.
I'm like a big spongy tuna.
But when we come back, Seth's going to break down his one lineup he made today on StarFantasyLeagues.com. And you're listening to the Star Fantasy League Show on the Sports Byline USA Network.
The Star Fantasy League Show. Feel free to tweet the show at SFL Show. Let's do this. Time for your Star Fantasy League's NBA Fantasy Lineup Breakdown. You're up.
We are back on the Star Fantasy League shows, and we are talking NBA lineup breakdown, but you already knew that because our intro voiceover guy just said it. Why are we repeating
He's
this?
so informative despite his lifestyle or lack thereof in his cage.
I would say, how do you have a lifestyle when you spend your entire life in a cage? I feel like that's a bad way to have a life.
Oh, you should ask all your girlfriends.
I never have my girlfriends in cages.
Bazinga!
He's been doing great ever since we gave him that Jenga set.
A Jenga set in a cage. That makes so much sense.
So I got my dog this ball. It's like a ball inside a ball, but they're both like hard plastic. He's a bulldog, so he's a chewer. You should see the little fella go after the thing. He can't get it.
Wait, so your dog's chewish?
What? I don't even know how to respond to that.
I don't know if we'd really call him a bulldog.
He's a mini bulldog.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very mini.
Yeah, he's
we'll
like a
say
fraction of a bulldog.
He's as fat as a bulldog.
That is very true. Again, we just can't stop getting off topic on the Star Fantasy League show.
He wanted to talk about his dog. He's been waiting.
Yeah,
Shout out to Willie. Yeah, if you're listening.
Oh, if you're listening, woof woof.
Daddy's
bow, wow.
on the radio.
Oh my god! All right, seriously, let's get down to it. We're talking NBA lineups on StarFantasyLeagues.com. If you don't understand how to play, we'll get you caught up real quick. It's a $100,000 salary cap, 2 guards, 2 forwards, 2 centers, 2 utility. That's any player you want. Got to stay under that $100,000 cap. If you get the most points, you win the most money. Easy game, right?
I've got a winning lineup tonight.
Hold on. It's so easy, even Seth can do it.
You can do this.
I've got a winning lineup tonight.
All right, Seth, break down your lineup. Tell us who you got. Obviously, slowly, since you like to burn through, so we can't tell you how we feel.
So the first person I put in is Dion Waiters.
Okay.
And he was having a great game so far, but this is breaking. He just went down. He hurt his knee. Hopefully he's going to be okay and come back. But he had good value tonight, and I thought that he'd probably get some minutes against the Sixers. And he's definitely reached value, I think, so far. He's got about 20 points.
I definitely have him in my lineup tonight. He was very, very inexpensive. He was below $10,000. I mean, that's kind of where you want to look. He's been getting more and more minutes, especially against Philadelphia. They're the second worst against the shooting guard position. I love him. Zach, I know you said you didn't have him tonight, but you had to like him, right?
Yeah, I appreciate the salary for sure, and he is close to making value already as long as he can play in the second half.
Hopefully.
So.
All right, so
good pick, Seth.
Good job.
We've always been you guys have been harping on the 76ers being just the absolute worst defense in the NBA. So I went heavy on the Cavs today, and I picked up Kyrie Irving and Tristan Thompson, both who I thought were going to be decent plays today, especially considering Anderson Varejao is out.
And not to mention Kyrie Irving's salary, I think, is lower than what he's at. He's at $16,339 on StarFantasyLeagues.com. I feel like that's pretty good value for him.
And regarding Tristan Thompson, that's exactly the point, is that Varejao is out. In the last two games, Varejao has been out. Tristan Thompson has gone over 30 and over 40 in fantasy points. He's absolutely killing it right now, and so far what we're looking at tonight, he's doing quite well again.
Almost 20 points and a half.
And by the way, he had, I think it was 13 points, 16 rebounds, and 19 points, 13 rebounds against the 76ers this year.
Yes, in short.
See, I knew all these things. That's why I put them in.
I can't believe how much time you have put into
Zach,
this. I'm so impressed.
No, he's not putting time in. He
know,
listens to us during the show. That's why he doesn't talk now. He just goes, I like that point.
So I've also got who you guys chewed me out for. I have Bradley Beal in my lineup.
No.
And he's been playing very well, but I guess that he's not widely owned at StarFantasyLeagues.com right now, and I don't know why. So why don't you tell me?
Because they're playing against Toronto. The over-under that for that game is 194. This isn't a game that you would go out of your way to target. I know that Bradley Beal's his salary looks pretty enticing, but I just feel like it's not the best value.
It's gone up a little bit, and Toronto defends the shooting guard position pretty well. It looks like that's what's going on tonight. I mean, Bradley Beal, if he has a favorable matchup, he's usually going to do well. The only times that he does well is when he gets really hot against teams that can defend him well. He's got to be hitting his shots, and if he's not going to perform.
Let's be honest, that team's a lot more well-rounded this year than we expected because Gortat's playing well, Nene's playing well. I mean,
I love watching the Wizards.
The Wizards are fun.
And it's such a shame because nobody goes to those games.
That or Atlanta. Every time we see the Atlanta Hawks play, I feel so bad for that city.
Well, Atlanta's
nobody
not that
goes.
Good. They're not that good.
Even when they were really good, they were the 3 seed a couple 5 years ago.
That's true.
Nobody
went until the playoffs, and in the playoffs, everybody was going ape, and they acted like this is
Yeah, this is
how we are. Yeah,
not a chance. All right, Seth. We haven't been too upset except for that Beal pick, but continue.
Well, I've also got Tim Duncan in my lineup.
Yay!
Because he's just a stud. He never does badly in fantasy. I know that Tony Parker's out, so Tim Duncan should be carrying a lot of the load for the Spurs. At least that's what I think.
Well, not to mention the Clippers are really, really bad against the power forward and the center position, which is the two positions Tim Duncan will play most of the game. So
Donald, you know this is one of those games I like.
This is true. You love it. 2-11 over-under right now.
2-11 over-under.
Close game,
Two
probably.
big teams that go at each other. The only thing that I am concerned about in this game is the fact that Tony Parker was out, and I would be a little concerned about a blowout. But I love Chris Paul tonight. I love Tim Duncan tonight.
I've also got in my lineup Randy Foye, who you mentioned last night. And I'm not entirely sure why I put him in.
You just listen. Okay, this is something that's fine. You put him in your lineup. Zach, explain why he put him in his lineup.
Randy Foye's value is so low right now still. And he's the guy that's running the offense. He hasn't performed that well in the last
two games.
Yeah, in the last couple games, but he had a lingering injury. He's coming off the All-Star break. He should be feeling a lot better. And as long as the Nuggets can keep this game close, and I think there's an advantage in that, and that they're at home, I think he can definitely make value tonight.
So I've also got in my lineup Tyson Chandler, who I think is coming off a double-double before the All-Star break and had a couple of decent games that he was stringing together. But another guy that I'm not sure if I could have replaced with somebody better for the value.
I don't know if you can see the scowl on my face. Well, if you're watching on YouTube.
It was a look of utter disgust is what it was.
If you're watching on YouTube right now, you don't know that I am scowling at Seth because I think Tyson Chandler is one of probably the worst picks you have tonight.
Why?
Okay, let's just first off, Memphis, when healthy, is one of the best low post defending teams in the league with Marc Gasol in there. and Zach Randolph in there. It's just somebody you do not. They rebound well. They play good defense. It's a matchup you want to stay far away from.
Yeah, the only thing positive I could say about this pick, which I am going to say something positive, which is quite nice, is that Tyson Chandler has a chance to pick up some heavy minutes tonight.
Well,
that's what I've got.
With no Bargnani, Kenyon Martin's still hurt.
No
right?
Kenyon Martin,
But
and
still.
and they're going to be loaded down low. They're going to need him.
I feel like there were a bunch of people in that Phoenix-Denver game at the center position that were much better suited, like a Markieff Morris or Channing Frye. I feel like they could get to value a lot easier because of that fast pace of that game. That's why they're a little bit less expensive, too.
So my last player that I have is one of my favorites in the NBA, and it's
no.
Zaza
Oh,
Pachulia.
God. You really
Is that simply because his name?
Mostly.
Okay, you have Zaza again?
Well, I know that the Bucks are injured.
Yeah. Hold on.
In general.
Hold on. He just says the Bucks
So Larry
are
Sanders
injured.
is out with what, a fractured orbital bone or something
He might be
crazy
done for
like
the
that?
season is what I just
And
read.
then John Henson
Playing tonight.
So then Zaza is
Brandon
really not the
Knight's
best
also
pick there
playing
is.
tonight. A bunch of
Ilyasova.
OJ Mayo. Yeah, Ilyasova. For that reason, I don't like Zaza at all tonight. Again, you could for the money. I think you could have got people who were actually starting.
I was going to get Zeller, but
I actually really, really like
I
Tyler
didn't
Zeller
put him
tonight.
in. I kept in Zaza.
I will say I'm pretty impressed because he was at least spitting some knowledge there.
That is true. Yes, in yesterday's show, if you guys were listening on the Star Fantasy League show, Seth was actually breaking down. He's an admitted rookie at Daily Fantasy Basketball on StarFantasyLeagues.com, but that shows you just how quickly you can learn the game and pick it up. All you got to do is research. Just learn the game by playing the free rolls on StarFantasyLeagues.com. It's the easiest way to get
Yeah,
in.
as long as the effort's there and you keep up on your stats and you keep up to the minute stuff going on, you've got a shot.
Alternatively, you could just pick people by their awesome names and probably do well as well.
Seth, is that how your wife plays? I bet she plays. She just goes, I like Zeller.
I'm
She
glad
doesn't
Seth.
know anything about basketball.
I'm glad Seth from 2 weeks ago just made an appearance because we were wondering where he was while he was spitting all that knowledge.
I'm
All
always
right,
here.
Zach, I
here to
believe we got
I like him because he's really tall.
We got another minute here. Remind people who you had, your play of the day, who he was, and just a couple guys that you liked that weren't on Seth's team.
My play of the day is Chris Paul.
Yes, sir.
I think that some of the best value of the night was in Corey Joseph, who's sitting at 5,800.
Yeah, we
and
didn't even talk about him last night because we did not know.
No, we didn't know
he
Tony was
played in
gonna
the
be out.
All-Star game. Like, what happened?
I don't know.
How did
And
Bellinelli make it through?
Supposedly, according to Popovich, it could be a lengthy stay. So
Corey Joseph, if you need him
So
in
probably
daily,
broke a nail.
Bellinelli's beard got in the way. It
he is
trimmed him down.
French. But I've been very impressed with what Corey Joseph has done, both off the bench with Tony Parker playing and what he can do in starting situations. So I think he's a great play.
I completely agree. I definitely have Corey Joseph in all of my lineups tonight. We can't forget about Al Jefferson. We all thought he was going to do great tonight. Who knows? He might do great. Coming after the break, it's John Holt's mailbag time.
Mailbag!
And you're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on the Sports Byline USA Network.
You're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on the Nick Monsanto Show here on the Sports Byline USA Network. Contact the StarFantasyLeagues.com guys via Twitter at SFL Show. Okay, fantasy sports fans.
There's a letter in your mailbox.
Time to dig into Donald's mailbag for your questions and comments.
Read the mail, read the mail, read the mail.
Jump in the game. Send your questions and comments to the Star Fantasy Leagues team by tweeting at SFL Show.
Wow, we got a John Holt's mailbag and a ding, and Seth doesn't know how to shut his mouth.
Seth is a giggling little schoolgirl right now.
I'm
He
sitting
doesn't
here
underst-
watching Zach in physical pain.
He doesn't understand that when it's John Holt's mailbag time, we all shut our mouths and enjoy John Holt's mailbag.
I'm having a
I'm not sure if I have to or don't have to at this point let the viewers know that I need to use the facilities.
Well, after this break, I think you can use the facilities, Zach. You will make it out in time.
He's got to go. His face is just. I wish you could see this.
I'm
You
hol-
can see this on
I'm
the live
holding
stream.
it back. I'm holding it back.
He's
All right.
spinning in his chair.
We're gonna make it through this together. I swear. All right, let's start off John Holt's mailbag with
Concentrate on the stats.
Yeah, really. We have no stats in this segment. We're gonna start off with an email from TJ Oshie. How did you manage to not say one word about me the last week when mentioning USA Hockey? Do you even hockey, bro? That's his
First of
actual
all,
question.
I apologize to TJ Oshie, and second of all, that is exactly what he'd say with the bro at the end.
Do you even hockey,
This
bro?
guy is an ultimate bro. I saw an interview with him going back to college to talk with his announcers there, and it was one of the goofiest interviews I've ever seen. He was like, "Yeah, man, I'm just doing it, and I miss you guys."
Really?
Yeah.
I want to talk about TJ Oshie's wife.
Really?
Or fiance, excuse me. Oh, my goodness. Have you seen the pictures?
This isn't TMZ.
Move over,
Seth, this
AJ
isn't
McCarron's
TMZ.
girlfriend. TJ Oshie's wife is on the scene.
And on that note, you just ruined our lovely friend Nick Stablenko, who's probably listening to this, is like, I asked you to talk about hockey, and you made it this.
If it was Seth's choice, he'd have an entire show talking about stars' wives.
It would be TMZ presents StarFantasyLeagues.com.
It's the Star Fantasy Wives show.
Oh no!
I think we'll remember TJ Oshie for a long time and what he did in that game. However, going forward, I think there's a little bit less of a chance that we're going to see as much of him just because there are no more shootouts coming.
I was standing in front of my television with 5 minutes left in the third period of that game and yelling. I was alone. There was nobody with me. I'm yelling at my TV. And when it went to the shootout and they kept calling Oshie's number, I was floored. It was an instant classic. It was such a game. I really enjoyed it. And, he showed a lot of class pointing out Jonathan Quick at the end. And really, with a guy that has a spotlight like that on such a stage, he really went out there and said, this was a team effort. It wasn't just me. And, you got to respect a guy like that.
It was so cool. And the 2 shots that he actually missed, he should have made, which was so ridiculous. He made 4 of 6. And one was a forehand that he had a wide open net and threw it over the net. And the other one was a backhand, which, what's his name? Bobrovsky, just basically threw his stick across and got it with the handle of his stick.
It was an awesome save.
That's my favorite.
It was an awesome
That's
save.
one of my favorite names ever, Bobrovsky.
They call him Bob.
Oh, do they? No way.
I can't imagine them shortening that name.
USA's playing tomorrow for the rights to go to the finals, right? That's tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's
I'm
not
sorry,
the
no,
finals.
to go to the
It's not the
semifinals.
finals,
My
correct.
apologies, yes.
But yes, they play tomorrow at noon Eastern,
Go
9
USA.
Pacific, and go USA. It's gonna be fun to watch.
All right, that's a good point to
I hope
move on.
Oshie's wife is in the stands.
Lovely.
I'm not concerned.
We're moving on. Tony Gonzalez writes, did you hear that I single-handedly got Dan Marino and Shannon Sharp fired from the CBS NFL pregame show? How awesome is that?
Damn it!
Really?
Have you ever seen that video of Dan Marino flipping out?
No.
Oh my God! There's a YouTube video. You got to look this up about him slamming the desk in the middle of a take and everybody around him just being like, "Whoa!" and putting their hands up, all scared.
Dan Marino wasn't very good.
Because he goofed up and he just he stuttered and stopped himself and slammed the desk. It's fantastic.
So you could say that he got sacked in the broadcasting
See,
booth.
you ruin every question.
You do. I actually find the Fox show to be more watchable just because those guys just basically.
They're senile. And
I know
insane.
they act ridiculous, so I'm at least moderately entertained. The CBS show, they're trying to be good, and it's just terrible.
Bill Cowher
Let me
is
ask you a
bad.
question. Who would you consider to be the Charles Barkley of the NFL? I mean, I think that's a good question.
Terry Bradshaw?
I don't think
that's a
so.
good
I
answer.
don't.
Terry
To
Bradshaw's
me,
not good.
John Gruden. John Gruden, of course, he's spitting out knowledge all the time. That's the third time I've said that this show. But he is, and he knows what he's talking about, but he's absolutely hilarious to listen to.
Did you see that Charles Barkley got to interview Obama?
I did see that. I didn't watch it, but
and
I saw it.
and if you watched it, Barkley was just stunned that he was there. He was like, "Thank you so much for doing this. This is so great."
I mean, why would somebody like that get to interview the president?
What do you mean like that?
I bet Obama was so pumped.
Yeah, he
Obama
loved
was
it.
probably way
He loved
pumped up
doing that
about
interview.
it.
He wants to talk
Charles
basketball.
Barkley is the funniest person in the history of announcing.
It's unbelievable.
I love how we got from announcers to Charles Barkley. I guess it's sort of the same thing. All right, moving on. Random Slifkin writes,
John.
Is it just me or are this year's Olympics less about the games and more about the host country? P.S. This is not Father Mohagan. P.P.S. Yes, it is.
Oh, well, Father Mohagan.
Good. He emailed under a different name today. Congratulations. You got in.
Yeah, I think it would be less about the home country if it wasn't such a mess over in Sochi. And
Yeah, if this was like Nagano, Japan again, it was like, oh, great place. That's
I love
fine.
when they're interviewing the skiers and the people doing the snowboarding and stuff, and they say, well, now it's I could take off the ski stuff and go and bask in the 65-degree weather. It doesn't feel like the Winter Olympics. And you go and I know you have some friends over there, and we probably we have some mutual friends over there too. And we have we're hearing from them and saying they have no doors on their hotel rooms. The light bulbs aren't working. It's just facades of a building, and there's nothing on the inside.
Yeah, people are actually saying that it's not so bad now because we haven't heard that much about stuff that's been.
It's still bad.
But if you watched the women's downhill skiing, like 15 of them were DQ'd because they couldn't handle an edge because the course was so bad.
I was watching some guy who was from the BBC went down with a GoPro, one of those video cameras that you have on your helmet, and he was trying to describe it the whole time, and he was a world-class snowboarder himself who moved into media, and he said it was by far the most difficult course he has ever seen, ever been on, and one wrong move, you can fall and you can literally die.
Yeah, and there was a lot of issues with the half pipe. Players weren't able to practice because they needed to manage it, and there are actually a lot of disappointing things that people haven't talked enough about that have damaged events.
Yeah, congratulations. Russia 2014 is one of the worst Winter Olympics of all time. It's because of you, Putin. I'm sure it's his fault. It's not because of Putin? Oh, come on now.
At least one of the heavily favored teams in Russian hockey wasn't able to get a bye in the first round.
I'd like to point out that this is not fantasy sports related, but Russia as a country under Putin is in much better shape than it was before he came into office. Economically, politically, everything there. He's done a lot for his country, not for us.
I can't even believe you're saying that, number one.
I can't either.
And second of all, I think the reason that you're saying that is because you're confused that he did not invent poutine.
All right, that's the point we're moving on. This has gone way off the tracks yet again. All right, next question from Daryl Morey himself. Oh, look at that. It looks like no one believed me when I set a deadline for trading Omer Ashik in December, so I'm doing it again. Why won't anyone take him? Please.
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know anything about this. He's a big turkey.
I'm not really sure either. There hasn't been a lot that's been said about why he won't be taken, but I think that
they set the deadline to say, we have to trade him by this day or nothing.
His contract is a little bit of an issue.
Okay, let's go over his contract. 3 years, $25 million. This is a second year of the deal.
He's getting $9 million, isn't he?
Hold on. It's a $5 million base salary this year and $15 million next year, but the cap hit is only $8 million. So if you actually want to pay him more, you got to do it next year. It's bad, but it's the same cap hit, so technically if you're under the cap, it doesn't matter
But who wants to pay this guy that much money?
3 years, $25 million for a guy that's a starting center in the league who can rebound and play defense.
Well, he's not a starting center now, and
behind the best center in the league.
But he was good. I was never that impressed with him.
Okay.
I never thought he was that great.
Larry Sanders got more money.
That's Rondo money. That's more. Yeah, Rondo a few years ago got
he just got a new contract. It was like 4 years, $54 million or something. This is a little bit less. This is significantly less actually. I don't understand it. Omar Sheik has trade value, but since they basically are saying they're not playing him, they're just going to get rid of him. Why would you offer a ton of value for him? You shouldn't, right?
I don't even want to talk about this guy.
Okay, then we have one more question.
This has been like the headline of speculation, and I'm like, isn't there some better trade coming up that we can talk about?
They said at All-Star Weekend that apparently this is the lowest amount of trade talk.
Yeah, I'm looking last night at like the possibility of Gary Neal getting traded.
Am I mistaken, or were we watching something where somebody was proposing a LeBron James and Kyrie Irving trade?
No, I think that was on ESPN. They were explaining something about their contract. It was not what you thought.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a LeBron James. What if he goes here when he's done? What if he doesn't? Every week.
Yeah, that's true. All right, last question because we have to get this in. This actually was sent to us. Jim Boeheim writes, that's plausible. You guys claim to be Syracuse fans, but you never mention us on the show. Come on, man. Where's the love? Do you think we can sweep the ACC?
Not with another game like you had last week.
They've got 6 games remaining, all against the conference. BC tomorrow, at Duke on Friday, at Maryland, at Virginia, Georgia Tech, and at FSU. That's a pretty tough way to close out your schedule in the ACC.
Yeah, I don't think it's possible, honestly, and unfortunately.
Can you believe that Duke is number 5 and they have 5 losses and like 7 teams with 2 or 3 losses are way behind them?
They're still very good, and that Duke game is going to be really tough. That's going to be the toughest test so far.
I'm a little worried about if they make it through that Duke game, if they overlook Virginia, who's 21-5 and 12-1 in the ACC. Their only loss coming to Duke. That's in Virginia. I think that might be a tough one if they get over if they do squeak out a win against Duke.
If they squeak out a win and get too high on it, yeah.
I heard that the mascot in Syracuse was injured, so they brought in Tan Mom to be the mascot for the week.
All right. I will say that it was okay that you just made that comment if you can tell me what the mascot's name is.
Orange. Clementine.
Do you actually know the name of the mascot?
Purple Bear.
See, now you're just saying really dumb things. How do you not know the name
Jackie
of...
Smiles.
You really don't know Otto the Orange, the iconic mascot for Syracuse?
I wanted to see if you knew it.
Do not bring him up again.
Yeah, I think that was one of the worst ways to end this segment. Jonathan's mailbag has been ruined. Thanks a lot to Seth Young. And after the break, we're going to be talking Wednesday basketball on StarFantasyLeagues.com. And you're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on the Sports Byline USA Network.
4-2.
Play fantasy sports for cash prizes. Join the top daily and weekly fantasy leagues in the country at StarFantasyLeagues.com. Now, back to the Star Fantasy League show with Jonathan, Zach, and Seth.
All right, voiceover guy, you got it right that time, but I'm pretty sure we're going to have some changing of the guards soon, right? We're doing 5 days this week. Is that right,
Yeah, we're going
guys?
to be mixing it up a little bit.
Cinco Deos.
So, Cinco de Oro. Seth actually knows Spanish, and he's just being a jerk. He sort of speaks it, right?
Sí.
Great. Thank you for that, Seth. We are breaking
De
down
nada.
NBA Wednesday on the Star Fantasy League show. StarFantasyLeagues.com. What do we got going on for Wednesday?
Well, we've got an 11-game slate for NBA. We've got $1,500 guaranteed in prize pools and a free roll every single night like usual.
And we just unveiled triple up games. We have one going up there, $120. 12 people, $11.
1 in 3 people will win. You come, you put your money where your mouth is, play against some other people who are doing the same, and triple your cash if you're a winner.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Triple in your dough, right, Zach?
You can do it, people.
You can do it.
I believe in you.
You
We
can
have-
do it!
If you're listening to this show, you're definitely going to do well because honestly, we break down who you need to have in your lineups. That's the whole point of the weekend, or excuse me, of the Wednesday breakdown, right?
Wednesday is the best day of the week.
Miércoles.
Oh, look, you do know Spanish. All right, Seth, since you... Obviously, that's not right. You're just screwing around, but you clearly know Spanish-ish, maybe. All right, let's break down, Zach. Obviously, on StarFantasyLeagues.com, when you have a giant slate like this, you kind of have to meander through the landmines that are on the schedule. What stands out for you that a game you have to avoid on this schedule that you wouldn't even pick a player from if you needed one?
Honestly, it's the Chicago-Toronto game, which I think is just going to be absolutely miserable tonight. I can't really see anybody producing on either team tomorrow. Toronto defends every position pretty well, and Chicago, I mean, across the board,
Yeah,
really talented.
These are two fairly impressive defensive teams. The only interesting thing that I noticed today is Patrick Patterson started in place of Amir Johnson after he went out for a couple games. Do you see that being a trend, or is that going to stick?
I think it could definitely stick if Patterson continues to perform like he has been. Amir Johnson has been less than impressive and has really only excelled in really, really favorable matchups. So I think Patterson could take over that starting job.
That
for
is
sure.
true. I've started Amir Johnson a few times on StarFantasyLeagues.com. Either if he has a great matchup, you're like hoping for something big, but other than that, you don't even look at him.
No.
So is Jonas Valanciunas...
Jonas Valanciunas?
Valanciunas, whatever the hell, however you say his name.
It's okay.
I'm glad to see you're attempting that again.
On this show, we don't even know what's going on. We can't pronounce names. We don't know where we are half the time.
Is he fantasy relevant?
He needs a pretty good matchup. Last year he was actually really fantasy relevant. This year he's kind of dipped off. A lot of the other players have kind of taken the steam off him.
He's had a few good games, and if his value dips enough and he gets a favorable matchup, I think he's worth a look. But he doesn't get that many minutes. If he's playing a team that's a little bit smaller and likes to go small lineups, then he gets even less minutes.
Yeah, Amir Johnson gets the minutes at center because he's more athletic. He's a quicker guy.
Yeah, they thought Valanciunas was going to be a decent answer for them.
He was untradeable at one point, wasn't he? Last year, they're like, he cannot be traded at all.
He was supposed to be the future at the position for them, and he really hasn't performed. And honestly, I think one of the big things in that is that he hasn't gained a lot of strength. He's still a pretty skinny guy, who can hit a decent shot mid-range, but doesn't really offer that much else.
So I think I heard one of the GM. I forget what team Cody Zeller is on. What team is he on?
Cody Zeller is
Charlotte?
on Charlotte.
I saw
Tyler
that
Zeller's in Cleveland, and
his
the other
coach
Zeller is somewhere else.
said that Cody Zeller does not have the body to be matching up against anybody in this league
They
right now.
said that before the draft. That was something that I don't know how he went fifth, because this is another one of the Charlotte things. They're like, oh, let's get this guy, even though he wasn't even. He was picked around 10th or 11th is where he was slated to go.
Just because he was a Zeller brother.
That has nothing to do with it. Tyler didn't do anything yet. He's not very good.
I think there were a lot of teams that were taking risks in the previous draft, and
You mean
a
Cleveland?
la Cleveland, and it just hasn't worked out. Those types of guys aren't working out. I mean, you can see the savvy teams that know how to draft because those players are producing.
This is very true. Yeah, there's players who go 8-9 every single year who were just studs, and you're like MCW last year went.
Yep.
This year's draft. Was it 9? I thought that was 11.
Whatever.
Somebody went 11.
It was later than it should have been.
Oh wait, yeah. If you were redrafted right now, he'd be clearly 1 or 2.
Yep.
Right? Has to be. All right, let's. We talked about the matchups we don't like. Obviously, on StarFantasyLeagues.com, we're not picking the players you don't want. We're picking the players you need in your lineups. So where are we looking? Not specific players. What matchups are you looking at? What games do you want to focus on?
I'm all over the latest game of the night, or tied with the latest game of the night, which is the Houston Rockets against the LA Lakers. Obviously, the LA Lakers are somebody that we've picked on over and over and over again, but this one's...
Wait, picked on? We never do that on the Star Fantasy League show. We are kind and partial to no one.
Yeah, I can't even count how many times I've given Mike D'Antoni compliments this year.
Really. Mike D'Antoni is actually coming on the show next week, guys. He's not.
I'm gonna have a lot to say to him.
Can we do the thing where the Rick Pitino comes on the line and just hang up on him?
That was awesome. That was
was-
one of the best interviews of all time.
Rick Pitino, you ruined our city. Hang up. It was amazing.
Props.
Yeah, mad props to that. That's why we can't have guests on the show, because I will probably do that. Not do it. All right, I'm sorry.
Until we have John Kitna.
We won't hang up on John Kitna.
I don't know if I can say anything to John Kitna. I'm just going to stare at the phone.
All right, Zach clearly wants
Seth really wants a John Kitna segment.
He does. We should just get John Kitna's
Where
thoughts.
literally only he talks, and I'm sure he'll read some poems about Kitna or something.
Kitna poems.
We could talk about binary numbers and other
Oh,
maths.
man. Okay, we're done. Zach, go ahead and break down this Houston-LA game. Are you worried that apparently Jody Meeks and Pau Gasol might make their returns tomorrow night? That's what I'm reading.
That's definitely something to watch. Given Patrick Beverley's defense, I don't think Kendall Marshall is in play in this game. And everything else...
Does he even start? Do we
everything
even
else,
know?
Everything else to me is a little bit shaky, honestly. It depends. It depends on who is playing, as it usually does with them. I don't know. It's going to be rough.
Let's be honest, though. How much do you like Dwight Howard tomorrow, playing against Chris Kaman?
I love Dwight Howard
guard.
playing his old team. The first game he played them this year, he had a little bit of a smaller stat line with 15 points and 14 rebounds. But then the next game he went for 20 points, 13 rebounds, 4 blocks, and 3 steals.
That's a 45-ish point night, I
Yeah,
believe.
that's a solid night, and I think he'll do that. He'll do something like that again in this game.
Yeah, and his value's come down. He's under 20,000 right now. I believe he's around the 18, low 19-ish area. So if he's at that value, especially against a Laker team that can't guard anyone, I'm pretty high on everyone.
If
with
you're
big
looking
name.
for a night to play Dwight, this is definitely the night.
Yeah, I completely agree. Anybody else from that matchup that you're targeting?
No.
No? Really?
Oh,
So-
yes. Actually, yes.
I was like, you like the game so much, you like one guy?
Sorry about that. James Harden.
Yeah,
who I
okay.
absolutely love.
I was making sure you like the one guy that I
He's
like.
coming off an excellent outing with his bright yellow shirt, so I would expect him to have a big game.
That's your contribution for the segment.
I'm glad that's what you think.
Well, Steph Curry's got the shoes. Clearly, James Harden's got the shirt. Who's wearing the pants?
Well, when Seth puts on clothes and buys weird jackets and stuff, to him that means success. So
I love my weird
I guess
jacket.
that makes sense.
Seth does have a weird jacket that when he bought it, I was just like, what are
You know what I got to
doing?
say to that? Haters gonna hate. Haters gonna hate.
Seth
I wear my
stares at his
jacket.
hands for at least an hour a day.
I get manicures. That's why they call it
Oh,
a manicure.
man.
That's why I'm saying that you stare at them.
It's the word "man" is in manicure.
All right, Zach, can we move on to a couple more matchups that you like specifically? I'm looking at this Golden State-Sacramento game because Sacramento does not guard, obviously, except for DeMarcus Cousins, because that man has stepped up his game this year in a big way.
Yeah, that game's going to have a lot of scoring. I think you might have a guess as to who I might like in that game. Jonald.
Steph?
Well, yes, I do like Steph. But I've brought him up many times before. He's one of my favorite players in the NBA, Isaiah Thomas.
Oh, on that side. I thought you were talking about for Golden State. I was like, Andre Iguodala?
Actually, Golden State, I do have a play that I really like, and it's not Steph Curry. It is Klay Thompson, who I think could be one of the value plays of the night.
His value has gone down.
It's going to be a high-paced, high-scoring game, and he had 28 points and 27 points in both of his games so far this season against Sacramento. So he is one of my dark horse values of the night.
I was going to say, don't give away your play of the day, please.
I'm not giving away my play of the day
You did
yet.
this last time. It's 5 minutes from now. You can
I'm
give away
holding
your
back.
play
You
of
know
the-
I get excited.
All right, I think there's a lot of players that are the high up in salary that I actually like tomorrow. Let's move on to a matchup that we're seeing right now that's also going on tomorrow. It's a back-to-back home and home, which is ridiculous. Detroit and Charlotte are playing again tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see too much of a difference from the players that could perform in this game from what happens tonight.
This is a broken record. We said yesterday, we said Kemba Walker, and we said Al Jefferson, and we're basically saying the same thing.
And that's
right?
what I've got written down right here, yeah.
Yeah.
I think those are the two guys to pick if you're looking at this game. as I've said before, when you're looking at Detroit, small forward Josh Smith, power forward Greg Monroe, center Andre Drummond, who could have a great game any night. It's just so hard to pick, and Brandon Jennings. It's so hard to pick which one of these guys are going to perform.
I completely agree. Andre Drummond, I would check how he's doing on fouls tonight. If he can guard Al Jefferson without fouling the crap out of him, maybe consider taking him tomorrow. But his salary is pretty high up there. I would look elsewhere at the center. But like Dwight Howard for close to the same money is a no-brainer over somebody like Drummond.
I heard Andre Drummond had an interview with Bill Simmons and requested to be called Drummer Boy.
Is that true?
No,
That is not true whatsoever.
I'm more piggybacking on what happened in the Kevin Durant Bill Simmons interview.
Oh man, we're
where
not
Kevin
not
Durant
talking about this.
said that he would be called the servant because he serves up his teammates and he serves up the ushers.
Yeah, this is
and
not
the
a joke.
fans. He actually mentioned the ushers.
Yes, this
Wow.
actually happened. We are moving on.
I
very
love Tarantula.
quickly.
Thank you, Kevin.
All right, somebody I wanted to talk about quickly, Dion Waiters, who's been kind of on a little bit of a roll out of All-Star Weekend, just got injured. We just saw it. Is not playing the second half of this game. If he goes tomorrow, you still like him, right?
Yeah, if he goes tomorrow, I like him. If he doesn't go, I would definitely give C.J. Miles a look.
What if he's not playing either? Did CJ play tonight? I didn't even look.
I think he is playing tonight.
He is?
yes.
Okay, but
Yeah.
Waiters was still obviously the better play. But yeah, if Waiters is not in, CJ Miles.
What about Jarrett Jack?
No. We
Why
talked
do
about
you have
this
to bring up
yesterday.
Jarrett Jack all the time?
Doesn't he become relevant?
No, not
If
really.
Dion Waiters
He could be traded by tomorrow.
That's very true. He's on the block. A lot of teams are looking at him. I don't understand what you see. I guess the veteran presence, a playoff guy, could play your third guard off the bench. He is better with the ball in his hands, though.
I feel like Seth wants a Jarrett Jack fathead or something.
I think we're going to have to
He keeps talking
do that.
about him.
In the Star Fantasy League's office, we are going to get a Jarrett Jack fathead. It's going to happen.
Isn't he a starter on that team?
Oh my God! Stop it! You're derailing everything. Zach, who else do you like? Who do you like for value plays tomorrow night?
One of the biggest – I have to go on a side here.
Oh,
Am I taking crazy pills?
quickly.
Seth, there are people all over the league, and this is a rule of daily fantasy NBA, is that there are people all over the league that despite the fact that they start, a la Jason Thompson, for example, on Sacramento, who get 25 minutes every night and don't produce. They aren't offensive guys. They're there to play defense.
It's usage rate. How much of the offense you're a part of, and this just for players like Jason Thompson, you probably usage rate is like 0.
Yeah.
The offense does not run through them.
Learn something new every day.
Another matchup that I'm really looking at. Usually, you wouldn't like to look at nights where these guys are involved. It's the Indiana Pacers, but they're going up against Minnesota, who are just atrocious defensively.
Correct. Everywhere except down low.
Besides
but
down low.
Pekovic isn't playing, so that again, the center position's still not well guarded.
Paul George against the 29th ranked small forward defense, 26 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 steals the last time he went up against these guys. I also think Lance Stevenson is an option too tomorrow.
Yeah, his salary's around $14,000.
Yeah, he's dipped a little bit. He's had a few games where he hasn't been as involved in the offense, and I think that's going to turn around.
All right, it's about that time, Zach. Do you want to have some drum roll? We're trying to get our voiceover guy to cut some music for this and actually give us a segment.
We should.
He can't
At least he'll drop us a line.
Bang his cage. Bang his cage.
We're gonna. I don't know what we're gonna do. We're gonna have to get him a smaller cage.
Seth is trying to break our headsets. All right, go ahead. Who is your play of the day?
My play of the day for Wednesday is James Harden, who.
You're not allowed to say no. You don't.
Yeah,
you're not part of the show, Scott.
I'd love to hear what Scott has to say about
Get out of here, Scott.
Yeah, Scott. Who's your play of the day? Huh? Otto the Orange?
He's playing the Italian BMT from Subway. That's his play of the day.
All right, so why is it James Harden? I know we talked about this matchup, but is it because the Los Angeles Lakers are the worst against that position?
It's not just that. They are 30th against the position, which is at the bottom of the league. But James Harden has gone off for 38 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 5 steals. 35 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 steals in the last 2 games that he's played in this year.
That's pretty darn good.
That's as good as it gets.
All right, we're going to wrap this show up
sandwich.
after the break, guys. And you're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on the Sports Byline USA Network.
The Star Fantasy League show is now part of the Nick Monsanto show. Information is key to being a successful fantasy team owner, and the guys have all the updated info you need right now.
We are wrapped up on yet another.
So turn off your radio.
I've just stopped.
Turn it off.
I see when he's ready to do it, and I don't even want to.
Turn your radio off.
When Scott says you're up, I'm just
Why are you still listening?
It doesn't
to
have the
John?
same effect if you don't let him do it.
how am I not going to
Well, you have
do
to
it?
keep talking so that it has its proper effect.
Fine. You know what? I stopped talking. They turned off the radio.
I'm not saying it for any reason. I just don't know why people still have their radio on right now.
So okay, I have a question. Since people are watching on YouTube live stream, should they turn their computers off too?
Throw it out the window and hit it with a golf stick.
Oh, so you want people to damage their computers instead of just turning it off?
Yeah, bring it in the bathtub.
Okay.
No, wait, that would be bad.
And that's
That might end up in death.
that's too much. We can't afford to lose another listener right now.
Oh, we can't afford to lose listeners.
All of our listeners are now bringing their computers into the bathtub.
Listener, Seth, do not give us credit. Do not give us.
Well,
more
nobody's
credit
listening anymore. The radio's off.
So
that
put
is
them in the
very true.
bathtub.
All right, guys, let's talk about what we got going on Star Fantasy Leagues. I know there's a lot of new features, a lot of free stuff we're giving away. Break it down for me, Seth.
Yeah, it's very exciting. As we keep saying, we have a free roll every single day. That's a free tournament that you can enter for $0.
And don't forget, $50 free rolls Tuesday and Thursday for NBA.
That's right, hosted by our Roto experts, Drew Dinkmeyer and Michael Leone. And we also have a brand new feature brand new game we rolled out today, the triple ups, where you can triple your money. 1 and 3 people win. We have double up contests where 1 and 2 people win, and we have guaranteed contests where you can join for just a little bit of cash and win big.
So much to do, so many features, so many functionalities. It's awesome.
StarFantasyLeagues.com is the place to be.
It is the place to be, and we're giving away $5 credit in your account. All you got to do is tweet us at SFL Show. No strings attached, at SFL Show. Tweet just your username, sign up for an account, and we're just going to put a $5 credit in your account for free. What's better than that?
If you tweet me at SFL Zach, I will tell you all about how things go for me after the show.
If you tweet at SFL Zach, just tell me he has a good face.
Oh my God. The show is broken down.
Why it's sealed.
I'm glad if you guys turned off your radio, you're not going to hear this. But if you don't know who Kyrioshi is, you need our help a lot more than you think. Take it easy, guys.
Apologies to John Kidman.